Hello everyone and welcome to this session. This session will talk about the CTIL organization-wide observability with HCP Terraform and AWS CloudWatch. We will see first what is exactly the problem and what I can do to build this solution. Just a quick reminder just after is what is CloudWatch OIM and how it works if you don't know it. And we will talk about our target architecture that I will show you how it works, and just after I will go in the code directly and we'll see how we can implement this solution with HCP Terraform and our AWS accounts. Just before beginning, I will just introduce myself. So I'm François Dexemple. I am a cloud engineer at Dexemple Cloud. Dexemple Cloud is a consulting firm based in Paris, but we work across all Europe. And also I am an HashiCorp ambassador. So, what is exactly the problem? That's the Live My Life of an answer. When I go to my different clients, I see that they have implemented the AWS best practice. So this is just one SketchUp with an example with 5 accounts, but in general when I go to their account, to their organization, we talk about hundreds of accounts because, or even thousands sometimes, because they create one account by project, and that's fine. But even I see one client that was creating one account per microservices or something like that. So it's really fine. But when in the morning I go to my computer, I want to see the metric, or if I have a bug, and I want to see what is not working, and to see in different multiple accounts. When I log into one, I see my dashboard and I open a new tab with a new account, and what happens? And I'm disconnected from the first one. So I can't compare the metrics and see multiple metrics across the different accounts, and that's a problem. And that's really annoying in my job. So that's why I need to find a solution on how I can see all the metrics of all the accounts in the same CloudWatch dashboard. And okay, there's some solutions that sometimes we don't need that because they have some tools like Datadog, Dynatrace, so we can plug all the data into this unique tool, so I can see all the accounts in the same place, but I want to keep it fast just on AWS. So, what is CloudWatch Observability Access Manager and how it's working? So this is really simple. This is a schematic take from the AWS documentation. So we'll have one central monitoring account that you can see on the schema, and on this, each tenant account or organization account, we create a link to this central monitoring account, and this central monitoring account have a sync when the tenant account will send the data, and that's how we can have the cross-account observability. Just a quick reminder, when I talk about observability, what is observability? In observability, we have 3 main things: the metrics, the logs, and the trace. These 3 things are the pillars of the observability in general for all platforms. But also with CloudWatch we have 2 other things. We have the application insights that we can send to the CloudWatch Observability Manager, and we have the internet monitors. That's 2 things that we can send. So what you can share between your tenant account to the observability account is the metrics, the log, the trace, the application insight, and the internet monitors. Okay. Now let's discuss about our target architecture. First, so Here I will assume that you have nothing. You just create one account on AWS, you have activate AWS Organization, and that's all. You did nothing on all your architecture. So I will manage this AWS Organization Management account with HCP Terraform on the Cloud Edition. Typically I will push my code on GitHub, all my Terraform code. This I will implement just a little GitHub action because I want to manage some rules before on GitHub. So that's GitHub that will trigger the apply on Terraform, the plan on the apply on Terraform Cloud. Also that's the goal. We will create some fake project accounts. So just for the example, we'll create 3 projects. Each account will be managed by a dedicated Terraform Cloud workspace. So workspace, this is not a workspace like maybe some people can say, okay, I know workspace with Terraform, the community edition, but that's not the same thing. The workspace is more like a dedicated project inside Terraform Cloud. So in Terraform Cloud you have project, under you have some workspace, and your workspace is your Terraform stack. I will not create this Terraform workspace manually, so this is my first tag, the organization management account, that will automatically create the Terraform Cloud workspace when I want to create a new account. This new account, this new workspace will be linked to a GitHub dedicated account, a dedicated repository repository. So I will have the same repository for each account because this will like a kind like a landing zone. So we will use the same thing, the same base, and this Terraform code that will be triggered by that will read GitHub, and that will trigger automatically. There is no GitHub action on this part. And after, the Terraform Cloud will apply directly on the AWS account. And of course, the Terraform will create an account dedicated to the observability. In this case, we will not create a dedicated workspace because this is kind of special, and I will keep it under the management of the workspace that has the organization management account. So, yeah, that we have, and you can see here the arrow that our Terraform Cloud will deploy some resources on this account, because if we deploy it all automatically, our Terraform can have the right to create and modify resources. So we have many choice. One of the solutions that I selected was CloudFormation stack set, because that will be the simple and the stack will keep pretty simple. We just create one IAM role on each account that will allow Terraform to assume the role and to create the resource after on the account. So in the definition of this CloudFormation, that's just one IAM role that will be the same for the Terraform, and that's all. So Terraform after will assume the role, will have, so after with the key that's just get by AWS STs, we create and modify the resource or even destroy it. That's it. And after that, on each account, we create our website account manager, the link in the region West East 1, and also we create the REM sync for the account observability. And yeah, just I think you notice it when we create a link or a sync, it's dedicated to AWS region. So in my case, I work in every time in the West 1 because I have some resources like CloudForms that are running it, but all the others are in Paris region, so the West 3, so I need to create another link. Now we'll see how we can implement this. So, as I was explaining just before, we have two repository GitHub. We have the AWS org that will contain all of our Terraform code for AWS Organization, but also the observability account. And also we have another repository GitHub, so that's for the shield accounts that will contain like our landing zone. Here we just have the CloudWatch link, but if you want later to create some roles, some I don't know, whatever, you can do it in this text, and it will be created like general rules for all accounts. So first, we need to do some manual job, because I told you we just write our AWS organization and we cannot link Terraform and AWS like that, and it's not automatically for the first time. We'll see that for the shield account we'll create a stack set, but that will create a role, but here we need to create a role manually. The first thing, we need to create an identity provider in the master account. So you go on IAM, identity provider, create a new identity provider, and we select an OpenID connect, and we have two parameters to put. The first one is the provider URL. This is the URL of the tenant on Terraform OUR. Generally it will be app.terraform.io, but maybe we change with HCP, and if you're on the HCP US or HCP Europe, it will be not the same, I think, provider URL. And the audience, the aws.workload.identity. This is something like static, it's right on the Terraform documentation. Of course, we are creating an identity provider for what? For creating a role just after the role, because I don't want to put my, we can do that, but it's not recommended to put some AWS access key and AWS secret key in the environment variable. It will be working, but it's not recommended. So that's why we create a role. Typically this is the policy of the role that I will create. Just keep it simple here, so we just allow everything on anything, and this is the trust entity that it's just a more complex. So the first thing we will allow just the ODC parameter that we just want to create. So don't forget to change the account ID and your and the name of the provider. And after, that's really something that it's really important to be carefully with that. So this is the condition, the action. So we'll just check the audience. So AWS.workload, it will not change for you, I think. And after the string light. Why? Because you have to put the organization that your organization Terraform. And if here you just put a star, that means if I want, because I'm the same shared tenant of Terraform, I will be able to deploy some resources on your account. So that's important to put your org, your project, your workspace, or just if you want to create one role for all the project and all the workspace, you can do stuff, but never always put your organization inside this string. And that's it. We have our org. And the AWS, we can go out. So after, we need to go in HCP Terraform. We need to create just first a new organization, so you can name it how like you want. After this organization, we'll create a new workspace inside. We can select the default project that is associated to our organization, and the workspace is created. We will go in this variable part in the setting on the left. We have two variables to set: the TFC AWS provider auth that will put the value true, and the TFC AWS one role ARN. So in the value you will put the role that you just created before. You should have something like that just after, and this is of course some Terraform variable. Okay. After, if when you create your Terraform workspace, if you select apply with CLI, you will need to put some Terraform configuration, the backend configuration that you put, typically the 3 or something like that. You will need to put the Terraform cloud and all your organization on the workspace. If you select that is Terraform that will read into GitHub, you don't need that. But here we'll put it, so I can just tap Terraform apply in my console. I will just need to log into to Terraform Cloud just before, of course, but it will apply just after. So we'll create our account. So here we'll create just 2 project accounts and the observability account. Okay. So that's something I think classic, I should already do it. And remember, after we need to create the CloudFormation stack set. So for this, we create a stack set instance, the resource. So the deployment target will be all the organization, our main organization units. And after just create the stack set, if you want the code of the IAM role or how to create with the identity provider, you have the link just here to get the CloudFormation template. So once it's done, it will be working. We'll be create a role that will be able to assume. But we didn't create yet our Terraform workspace for each account. Just before, you need to go on GitHub and to generate an host token that will be used by Terraform to read GitHub just after for the account. So that's what I put in the Terraform Enterprise host client. That's for GitHub. And just under, we'll create our Terraform Enterprise workspace. So I will run a loop on each account. The local for each account is typically all the accounts except the master one. So you put your organization, you put your project ID, and be careful, this is a project ID and not the project name. You can find it in the console, and you can give a name. Here I just want to have something that is readable for me, so, but if I go with just the account ID I find it, so that I put the ID in, and after the name that I give to the account, I activate the auto apply on the auto apply brain trigger, and I put just under, you see my GitHub repository that will be linked with the token, of course. And this is what we can do easily with if we use the community edition. That's what I love on the Terraform Cloud edition. This is the Terraform Enterprise run trigger. So I say that when the Terraform workspace account, so will be trigger, a new one will be triggered when this Terraform workspace, the organization workspace will be over. So when an apply is finished on the master account, it will be trigger all the shield accounts. So if I change something in my stack, it will be trigger all the other stacks. And exactly like we did just before manually for the master account, we'll create the Terraform Enterprise variable for the provider and the role, and yeah, that's it. So normally at this step we have this project. We have the AWS Organization index, that's my master account at the bottom, and we have the 3 other projects, as you can see. And you see that I'm just applying on the AWS master account, that's just for showcase you how it's working, and once the organization account is over, it will trigger automatically. I did nothing. That just Terraform on the conversion what we did just before. It will trigger all the accounts just before. Okay. Now, so we have our AWS master account that is provisioned. We have our project account that are provisioned, but we didn't provision our observability account yet. So for this, we create it, but we're not using it yet. We just create a role like the other, but we did nothing on it. For this, I need to create manually a provider for AWS for the region US East 1 and the region EU West 1. For this, I will use the organization account access role that is built in by AWS. And I can assume with my current role that I just used. For this, just after, we can create our CloudWatch sync. So this is the same each time as I use provider, so that's for the readability, but if you have to use it, maybe you can use a module and to loop on the provider. Don't do like that, even if you have many regions. So here I just create the sync, and I also need to create a sync policy. I didn't put it in the screenshot, but if you want to see the sync policy, that's something that just like AWS resources, you can find it on the link just here. So that's it. For the observability account, we just create the sync link with a policy that say, okay, all the cheat accounts can send the data to this sync and not another organization, because I don't want it, but if you want it, you can do that. Okay, so we create the bottom, the sync, we need to create the link. So here I go on the second GitHub repository with chilled accounts. So that's the same thing. I create a link with my central link sync and my account name. I didn't mention it, but I have added a Terraform variable that's called central login sync from my first step for getting this sync identifier that is generated when I create the sync. So this is a Terraform. This is a variable inside the workspace, and I put all the resource types that I want to send to this sync. And it's the same time I created for the AWS US East 1 and the AWS West 1 for Ireland this time. It was Paris before it closed. And that's it. All the configuration I do just after the write. So if I go to the CloudWatch console on the monitoring account, now you can notice at the bottom top right that we have the monitoring account badge, and I can see that I've just run one lambda on each account. I have my first function, and you can see that it's mentioned that the account label is the digdev and with the account ID, and I have another logop, another lambda that come from another account. This is the barber one, with also the account ID that is different. It's not the same, and that's it. Thank you for listening to me. Don't hesitate if you have any question to write it in the chat, or even if you want to discuss a little more about the observability or other things like that, or if you have a question, you can reach me on LinkedIn and send me a message. I will be really happy to respond to you. Thank you everyone.